Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Dugout Mug Studios. This is the seventh inning stretch.
Let's go to work, baby. Seventh inning stretch here. First official spring training game in the books. Dodgers world champions already, people. All right, let me go with it. Padres season over. No, I'm just kidding. All right, well, seventh inning stretch here. We're with you. Gentlemen, we got a good show with you. Anybody that's joining us here tonight, we're going to give you all the topics from the week. Got a good, obviously, we'll end with our trivia, MLB flashback like we always do. Talk about a little bit of maybe our good, bad, and ugly from the week I have this week. That's a new segment we have as well. We'll talk about our Cy Young candidates. And Josh Edwards, I feel like right away, I just feel like that's where we need to start for baseball fans. I feel like right away, I feel like we're losing a Cy Young Award winner possibly when I see Senga going on the DL for the Mets. I see, and he is absolutely filthy. He's one of those guys you're tuning into watching a baseball game for. And when I see him going down, he has the nasty, it's a sinker in my books, but it's weird. It's like a screwball-esque at times. When I hear that he goes down, that's disappointing. Right away. We'll get into the Cy Young candidates, but for the Mets, who remember what was it a couple weeks ago? I said we're going to disagree about him. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm on with him. Now I'm I don't know. I got to rethink this maybe and start. So I don't know. Mets fans, maybe we calm each other down. Out here, I wanted to take him. So right away, it just sucks for baseball that you lose this guy for the start of the season, just because he's so fun to watch.
I mean, I don't know what you really categorize this pitch as, because you're right. Is it a sinker, is it a screwball, is it a forkball? I call it a custom. Yep. It's his custom pitch. I've never seen that type of movement from somebody before where we really don't know what it is. If somebody knows exactly what it is, please inform us, because obviously Darren and I don't have a
I know a lot of Mets fans out here. They probably have a name for it out here. Come on, Mets.
But, I mean, how long is he really going to be out? And how many starts is he really going to miss?
So you figure if he's on the injured list, he's probably at minimum missing 3 starts, minimum.
Ooh, 3 starts.
Yeah, but that's the thing is I don't know what arm fatigue means. And then you're having an MRI. We haven't got results back from there. I'm just saying these are the type of things. If you're a Mets fan, you're oh my gosh, are you kidding me? This is the same crap. You might want to hear this about one of your young players, you know what I mean? This is not something you want to hear going into camp about your best player.
I mean, if arm fatigue is anything like dead arm or anything like what Jack Flaherty went through, I've already seen it. And if that's what it really is, he needs to take the time he needs to get healthy first, because Jack Flaherty had one arm fatigue was Tommy John. Oh, well,
Logan, I hope you're doing well out there, sir. VBS this arm fatigue, right? VBS this arm fatigue. All right, that's a joke between us.
You get what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, no, I get you.
If that's what the situation he's looking at, or if it's Tommy John, just take care of it. But if it is what Jack Flaherty went through, and I have my issues with Jack Flaherty as a pitcher, because I think he thought he was all that in a bag of chips, and he wasn't, because he never recovered and was what he looked like in 2019, because he had that injury, then didn't take care of it, tried to play through it, then had another injury. I mean, and then had dead arm. I mean, the guy had such bad luck, and he had all the potential in the world to be an ace, an actual true ace. He had it, and he never got it back, and maybe he will. I hope we don't see that with Kodai Senga, because he is such an exciting pitcher to watch, and he does have stuff.
And I wanted to put him as my Cy Young guy possibly this year. So this hurts me a little bit. I just, like Logan said, though, that has to scare you, though. Arm fatigue, that is a worrisome Mets fans, think of the Warriors here for a second, saying if you're an NBA fan, tune in right now. I understand NBA starting back up. This is MLB time, though, too. We're trying to get that as well. How about your boy, Tim Anderson? He signs. You've been saying the Marlins should sign everybody on every team. The Marlins should sign. I was thinking of you today when it finally happened, and I got the text from Logan first. It's official. If anybody doesn't know, Logan Stone is basically our John Morosi. He just gets things done for us around the clock, and he signs with the Marlins there. I feel like it's a good signing for them. Totally low risk. 1 year, $5 million. It's surprising nobody else signed him, but then you're like, well, there's the personality stuff. There's the punt. I don't know. What do you kind of make of him signing with the Marlins overall?
So I said he should have gone there in the first place. Hold on. I never understand.
He says, I never understand arm fatigue a week after warming up. Is that evidence of a lazy offseason? Maybe not completely lazy, but how do you do that, or is it irresponsible? I don't know if that's what arm fatigue means. I think it just means, oh crap. That's all I think it means. Like, I don't like taking it as anything other than that right there. Like, arm fatigue means, oh crap, this guy's feeling bad. What are we going to tell the media? Arm fatigue. We're shutting him down for 5 to 7 days. Like, MRI immediately. What is going on? Like, that's what it means. O8 capital and then crap capital. That is what arm fatigue means. Don't you dare think of it's anything else. That's what it means in baseball terms. How dare you have a key?
No. How he feels about Morosi.
Is he taller than Rosenthal? I mean, he's got.
I don't know.
Rosenthal's like 5'4".
Yeah, but Rosenthal's more accurate and doesn't have as many X's against his name.
Oh, come on. After he does the 150 soccer kids, he'll be top of the list here. With it. So what do you think that with the Marlins? You've been begging for them to sign guys all year. They finally get him Chisholm. Do you feel like they have a rise? Like,
I think that works. Because so Tim's a little bit older, right? And Jazz is younger. So I think it's going to be – I think Tim Anderson is going to end up in more of a mentor role than he even realizes right now. Because I think he's going to look at Jazz. He's going to see himself.
Is that a good thing?
I think that's a great thing for Chisholm.
Okay, so you trust Anderson then. Like, I think that's why a lot of teams avoided him because of some of those things. That's why I think he got the 1 year, $5 million deal.
Okay, so I'm trying to go on the super optimistic side here. So
I know, and I'm just we're countering each other here.
I know, but let me run my whole scenario here. He wanted to get paid. He thought he was going to get paid based on his talent. He has a personality issue based on the league. This is an opportunity that he sees for himself to change his image and help take another player who's a young guy himself, who probably reflects him a little bit, who has a little bit of a swag.
Yeah, I would say definitely has some swag.
But Tim may be able to help him grow and say, hey, man, I get it. I was you. If you're going to do this, maybe don't do this with it, or make sure you avoid doing this, or if you get in this situation, he may be able to help him grow a little bit over this year, and it may help Tim grow as a player and lengthen out his career a little bit. I think this is a great opportunity for him. I think he fits in with this team. I think it could be a beautiful thing. At the same time, low risk, high reward. If it doesn't work out,
do you think he'll be at the Marlins next year at the bottom line? Like, I'm saying, let's say he has a good season. Is he a Marlin next year? He's not. And that's probably not. What was my theme last week? Charities. They are a charity for. I mean, we appreciate that. The Marlins, just like my age, we give. I mean, doesn't that matter? All right, the soul should matter, right? You give.
But they do it better than you guys do.
We develop. We try to give to the rest of the league. What a contribution to society these teams do. I mean, it's just spectacular.
See the Cardinals are the farm system for the teams in Florida.
Yeah.
Think about it this way. The Marlins, they got 3 guys who were former Cardinals on the coaching staff. They've got 3 or 4 Cardinals that are former players on their team.
Well, you're all in then on the Marlins. You're now all in on them.
I mean,
as we got the Cardinals hat on with you there.
It's the St. Louis Marlins, man.
I love it.
It's the Detroit Blue Wings.
And that's the thing, about early in the baseball season, right, Josh? There's a lot of optimism everywhere with the teams. There is. We always say it's a long season. We get it. It's a grind. But, that's what makes this show fun. That's what we get to kind of react to what's going on right now. Future D-back. Well, why didn't they sign him now? Why didn't they sign him right now? Do they need a monster season for him to sign him? Why not take that risk right now with them if you're the D-back?
Because they have a certain chemistry in their locker room.
Anybody could have signed him for 1 year, $5 million. Anybody.
Yeah, but he's too dangerous for that locker room. That locker room has a nice young core that they did really, really well last year. They're growing and developing together. I don't think Tim Anderson would be a good fit there right now. If he can,
how about with your Cardinals?
God
no.
I need good veteran leadership in the Cardinals clubhouse right now, which is why they went out and they're paying Matt Carpenter $740,000 this year to ride the pine pony, maybe see the plate 60 times. And see the field maybe 40 times throughout the entire season. He's there as a locker room presence to be a leader, be a mentor, and teach young kids how to be professional ball players. That's what the Cardinals are paying him for. If you're a Cardinal fan and you think that they are paying him to play ball this year, you are sorely mistaken. Get that out of your mind. He is there as a mentor role. That is it.
What do you think about the MLB players? Logan sent us a very provocative photo of a man in a Padres uniform. Unnecessary tweet there. Unnecessary photo. I love the MLB uniforms. Like it's kind of just if this is not a spring training story, I don't know what is. But it is part of the leadoff spotlight. You know what I mean? Like it's uniform, bro. But it is kind of funny that like there is the see-through aspect of it. Like it is kind of. Are we getting into NFL uniforms where we'll have? Is it fully? Are we fully loaded? I guess is the theme here. Like is what Josh was going on here.
I am so disappointed, but from the jerseys to the picture that Logan sent us, that we will not show on this show because this is a family-friendly show, like 99.9% of the time.
Yeah, we try.
No, I am so disappointed in the MLB and the Fanatics and whoever else was involved in the whole jerseys and uniform combination, material choice, design, whatever went into it. Y'all failed. You failed in the worst way. I mean, even the players are complaining that the jerseys look fake. I mean, from what I understand, they're not stitched. They are just pressed on.
So do you think Mike Trout got paid to say, I love this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He has to.
They said this was like years of research. Years.
Yeah, well, everything I've heard is bad. Oh, well, my headphones are dying.
Years of research with it. We'll get your act together. Figure it out. All right, Red Sox. Another thing that kind of cracks me up about that too is it's just like I said, this is just a spring trading story to be in the finest when you have something like that happen. This, like I said, leadoff spot here, the Senga injury. That one to me is the biggest news out of this. I know the Marlins, they get Anderson. Like I said, he's one of my favorite guys to watch out of last year, Senga. So the fact that he's gone, I feel for my guy Ant out in Memphis as well. Loses one of his guys, my guy CP there. What's up? Multitasking here. We appreciate you tuning in. I know you're busy. You've been on the fivefold now here on Variety Sports. My guy Aaron out there. Been doing that. He does the soccer even on Saturday mornings. I was into soccer a couple of years ago, or about 5 years ago. Lost a little bit. It was Liverpool a little bit with Suarez. That was my team. And so I got that. And then I have my guy out there. Hope you're doing well. We were talking about your Mets and Senga a little bit. Kind of, obviously we're concerned about that with that kind of aspect going on with it. Appreciate you tuning in. Know you're multitasking, so get in, get out, whatever you got to do. We just appreciate you tuning into the show. Here on the seventh inning stretch at Variety Sports Network. That's our leadoff spot here. If you got something on Senga, you got something on the uniforms, you got something on Tim Anderson, we'll bring it up here on the show anytime. That's what we do here on with it. So we're willing to, fans, we interact with you at any point. So we'll make that happen. Josh Edwards here joining me on Variety Sports Network. Red Sox, Rap Devers, he unloads on the team, says what we need. He says we're not, the front office is not adding what they need for a win here. He says they need to make adjustments to help us players to be in a better position to win. Down below, I got some of his other quotes as well. If you're tuning in here on YouTube, got that on the ticker as well going on. Give you a little background on the Red Sox this offseason as well. The reason I kind of wanted to bring this up before we got in the NL Central is Devers to me is one of the best. He is one of the best hitters in the league. Like he might have one of the best players, but he's a professional. He is a professional hitter. He's the definition of that at this point in his career. And the Red Sox, I've been watching a little bit more stuff this week, like I said, and like I heard the word embarrassing around their franchise. Like that's what fans are kind of thinking. Shows you what level the Red Sox fans are used to as well. But to that point, with the AL East being as good as it is, and then you have your best player kind of, I guess, like unloading on your franchise, and your best additions were Giolito, Tyler O'Neill, and Vaughn Grissom. You get Alex Verdugo as well in a deal with the Yankees. How do you feel about the Red Sox in this moment? Like, we talked about it about a month and a half ago. Are we in the same spot? But I feel like now that we're entering spring training, Josh, and we have Devers unload on him like this, I got to question it a little bit differently.
So I kind of feel like, and sorry, my headphones went dead and I lost everything. That's why I went.
You're good. You're good.
But I kind of feel like at this point, I think I have an idea what they're doing. And so my theory is that they see what the division. Hey, look who it is.
Got our boy back.
He's here to tell me I'm stupid. Okay, here's my theory real quick. They see what the division is, and they see what the division's going to be, and they're like, "There's nothing we can do in 1-2 seasons to be as competitive as we need to be in this division." So what we're going to do is we're going to get these 2 young guys. We're going to liquidate and get rid of some of our salary issues, and we're gonna make decisions now for the future. That's what I kind of think they're doing, like, kind of. But at the same time, I'm like, not really. That's the only thing I can think of that they're trying to do right now. And don't they have Devers locked up for a good long time?
Yep. Do you hear Jansen's quotes too?
No, I haven't.
Well, very similar. Not as quite as abrasive, but like very similar in the same tone. Like, what are we doing here? I signed for year 1, and then year 2 we're doing something a little differently with it. Logan Stone, always an honor, sir. Here, 7th inning stretch. One of the co-founders, I like to say, here at the 7th inning stretch with it. Logan Stone, how are we doing out there? Your thoughts on the Devers situation? Anything else, sir? How you doing?
Well, hi. I'm glad I got to jump on for this topic, but what was I going to say? Oh yeah, it's not just the Devers thing. I'm going to get a little steamed here, just for a minute. So it's not just Devers, right? It's the whole. I mean, it's all of MLB, right? I mean, Devers is angry at the Red Sox for not really spending and going out. Who are the other players? There are a lot of other players who are just getting angry at their owners. And then we hear last week the Cubs owner was like, "Oh, well, we're just going to really focus on winning the division, or we feel like this." And it's like, okay. And then you have John Fisher. That's his name, right? John Fisher.
It's John Asshole. I'm sorry, you got it.
Oh yeah, John. Okay.
You got it.
He doesn't care about winning right now. Like, honestly, he could afford all the top 5 free agents right now.
Oh yeah.
And it would be awesome if he did buy like Blake Snell. He might have a competitive team if he got all of those guys. But yeah. And then the Diamondbacks, one thing, the Diamondbacks owner was like, well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if the Dodgers spend all this money, we don't need to spend all this money because it just doesn't matter. And then they're like the Cubs owner, going back to the Cubs owner, he used the last 4 National League pennant winners that they had the worst record. And so I'm like, that's not an excuse. That's not. It kind of does sound like it's the rule, but it's not. It shouldn't be the rule. It should be high competitive.
Tom Ricketts is the Cubs owner you're thinking of as well. There, Tom. He's the owner of that team, and the Red Sox owner. Like, we're just because the Red Sox thing here too, which is interesting. And Logan, that because I have you on, it's like because me and you when we text each other, we're kind of always talking about like salary floor, salary cap. And in my lifetime, the Red Sox have never even been like they're just spending money. That's what they've usually done in my lifetime. So it's really weird for a player to come out and say this in my lifetime because they're usually going out and spending money most of the time. The bets trade, like we've talked about many times on here, but I won't do that. Now, this ultimately set everything back in motion. What do you think about real quick? Because I do want, if you're on, I do want to get into the main topic here real quick. But you have Giolito edition. You have the Vaughn Grissom, who you liked when we did a podcast a little while ago. Does that give you hope as a Red Sox fan a little bit there? And then they signed Hendricks, by the way, who's out for this, for a while this year and then comes back.
I think any hope that I had if I'm a Red Sox fan, I would have lost if I'm hearing because what was it? A month ago, we heard that story that the Red Sox were really wanting Jordan Montgomery, but they couldn't afford him, and they weren't even trying to look at him or something like that. That was from this article from the Boston Reporter. I would lose all hope. I'd be like, you're not trying to win. You are just you're doing the dance. You're trying to act like, we're trying to win, and that's it. Or we're not trying to win. We're just trying to look like we're trying to win.
And I think that's where Devers and they come from. They're like, well, you sign me to do a big deal, then you sign these other guys, but it's not it's like we're not doing other areas well enough like these other teams to compete. Obviously, if you're finishing in last place in your division, which their fan base isn't used to, and they called it embarrassing in the same regard here. Josh Edwards on mute here in a little bit. Hopefully he gets back on. Logan sends, there he is right there with it. I think I'll let Devers as we get into it. Let's get into this part of it as we're on. We talked about the Red Sox. Just put a cap on it, Josh, as you kind of do. You're kind of joining us here with it. I just feel like the Red Sox, like I said from day one, like I don't understand what we are doing. Like to me, there's no game plan, and it feels like that. As just a baseball fan, like Logan, you're like everybody, yay baseball. Let's just like there's no actual plan. I feel like when I watch them there.
What's the problem? Why are these teams not wanting to spend money? It can't be just the Dodgers. Like, oh well, we can't spend like the Dodgers, so we can't even try.
I don't think these guys think they're good enough. I think the owners have been screwed very many times, more so than have seen success. And so when you do that and you lose money on guys that get injured, I mean, because like Ohtani's a stud, you're spending money on him. He's gonna have but I feel like these guys and whatever. Let's talk about it right now. Scott, Matt Chapman and all that stuff. It's like these owners are like, we don't want to get we're not gonna bid against ourselves anymore. Like you're either prove to us somebody else is involved in this freaking negotiation. I'm not going up to 225 for Matt freaking Chapman, who's going to bat 249 in the season. We're not doing that anymore. So I think there is something where I do like about it, but I don't know. I feel like, but if you're the Red Sox, there's stuff where you're like, get Snell 5 years, give him 5 years, 175. Let's see what happens. Let's up that ante a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, go get Bellinger. I think you need a first baseman. Well, Castas is good, but you can use Bellinger as a DH or an outfielder, and it's just like, and so I mean I don't
They got Tyler O'Neill. They're good.
But I mean we were talking about this on our group chat. I was saying we need the Yankees to be like the King George version of the Yankees. I mean we need them, and people can say, oh well, that's the Dodgers now. No, it's not, because the Dodgers choke every year in the postseason. They haven't actually won anything. The Yankees used to stack their team, and they used to win, and they used to say, hey, you want to try to be like us, you're going to have to spend money.
But
go ahead, Josh.
There comes a point where they just go, I'm done. Here's what you don't understand. The players may set the market, but if the market can't bear what they're trying to set, all you're going to do is hurt every other player. So what's going to happen is the teams that can spend big are going to get 2 or 3 of the big-time, high-dollar players. The other mid-market teams and the smaller market teams are going to say, fine, we're just going to build the best team we can with the money we have, because odds show that no matter what, if we spend $175 million or if we spend $400 million, the odds are the same that we're going to make it and win the World Series. Because spending the most does not buy you the World Series. It buys you the best odds, but we've known from history, year in and year out, the team that wins the World Series is rarely the team that's got the highest payroll.
Yeah. But, I mean, they still need to get certain players. Like, I mean, if you got, let's see, I mean, who am I going to use? Gosh, let's use the Cardinals as an example, right? Okay, so they have consistently the best TV ratings, like top 3 for years now. Top 3 in attendance, viewership. I mean, they're making bank, or they should be at least. But then they don't really go and spend players, and then they always lose in the playoffs. My thing is like you need to be spending money. You need to, but
not on bombs though, Logan. I feel like that's
I understand, and I understand that this has been a weak free agent market, and like last year was a weak free agent market, even with Shohei and Yamamoto and Snell but like I mean I don't know. Maybe I'm
not that many $200 million 5-year players out there. There's just not that many guys out there worth that much money.
No.
They're worth that much.
But Logan's right. Tim Anderson should get 1 year, $8 million from somebody. Like if you want money, like I'm just saying, like there is that theory out there where like Snell 1 year, 1 year for 150. It's like Giants. Why aren't you offering him 1 year, 175? Or like you know what I mean? Like what are we doing? Like you guys say Cardinals. That's how I feel out here in the Bay Area about the Giants. Like they sold out for 15 years and they never spent on anybody.
I mean, Jordan Montgomery, he's not going to cost you $30 million a year. He's what, 20 maybe?
Well,
Maybe
that's
22?
like 26 or 27.
Yeah,
You think that much? I don't think that.
No,
I don't know.
they're asking.
Scotty Too Hottie wants that. Scotty Boris wants that.
But I mean, like okay, so you don't have to spend like the Dodgers.
3-year, $60 million deal.
No,
Who?
If Monty came back to St. Louis to Mo and said, "Hey, give me a 3-year deal at 20 a year, and I'll sign right now," I guarantee Mo would go, "Okay."
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, and like there are players like Tony Kemp. Like, I don't know how Darren you feel about Tony Kemp. I think he's an underrated player. I think he sucked in Oakland because Oakland sucks.
Good, but he's not a starter, I don't think.
No. I don't think he is. I think he's he's a really good utility player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt.
And so
I think he'd be good on the Astros again. That's where I think he'd be good. I'd stay there with it. Logan, I know you might not be able to stay on times. I really do want to get to this topic here with it. Is Central storylines. And I spent some time, gentlemen, working on this week, kind of going and Josh wanted to talk about this week with it. And like I said, if you want to comment on the Red Sox, what we talked about, Anderson, Senga, we will go to anything with any comment immediately. Oh, Susie tuning in. You keep Tony Kemp's name out of here. I love Tony. He's an A's fan out there. I love
Tony's awesome.
I actually got to shake his hand at a game last year. That was actually kind of fun. Tony Kemp.
Was it in the right field bleachers?
It was actually by the first base dugout. Me and my son went there when they played your Texas Rangers over there. We went over there. Tony Kemp was a man of the people out there in Oakland. Susie, I don't know what – are you becoming an Oakland A's fan? I mean, I kind of appreciate you've been having Brandon. You've been having these other people on. I'm loving the last dive bar had our guy out there on. Like I said, I'm going to go to a few games this year. I know we're trying to boycott the game, but also it's for me as an A's fan and like I said, it's deep for me. I've been to so many out there. I have all these tickets on my wall from out there. It's like I got to take my kids a couple more times because I don't know if this will be the last time. So for me, it's awesome. So Susie, keep up the good work there at Bourbon and the Baseball. Me and Josh always here at 17 Special. Obviously, with Logan, want to shout you out with your stuff. I love Tony Kemp, and I would take Tony Kemp over. I know you would. You're a big Tony person.
I saw John Boy was doing their drafts of who they would take, and I don't know if you saw it, Darren, but they drafted one of the guys for the first round drafted the Astros outfield and DH, and I thought that other than Alvarez and Tucker, who is there? It's a bunch of crap.
Oh, so shots fired.
I would take I wouldn't take I don't know. I don't like the Astros right now. I feel like they didn't do anything. They should go out and get some of these guys. I honestly.
No one take out the bullpen. I agree. I don't know how that happened.
McCormick sucks. Don't even start with me.
I was thinking McCormick's solid. You're not a McCormick fan. I've known that since I've joined your show. You've always been anti-McCormick. Yeah, Susie. Okay, I put this on retweet. Let me find a banner for you. Shut up, Logan. Let me just put that out here at the bottom. Let's just keep that going. You shut up, Logan, along the way here with it. That's awesome. Susie, Logan Stone. Yeah, let's put the last name. Let's put his name fully on it here.
Let's put my social security number and my address out in there too.
Are you effing kidding me? I love Susie, the passion, the love, the energy, the desire you have on your podcast. Like I said, keep up the good work. I appreciate you tuning in with any comments here with it. Your Astros here, the NL Central style here with it. What the Astros used to be part of the NL Central, folks. That used to be part of it here growing up as a kid. That was part of the deal. If I knew it, I would. I'd say, I would Susie. NL Central storylines here. So I feel like the NL Central. I know that you guys are. Burns and Bush, Chronicles. Where let's focus 7th inning style. So we'll focus on the Cardinals, but we'll also go on other teams as well here in Logan. So we can't go 20 minutes on just the Cards here. So we're gonna put out there that Josh Edwards here. That my thoughts here with Josh is like I didn't know how to start this division, so I'm just gonna put it. I don't think it's the weakest division. I think the Central AL Central might be, but I think you guys are maybe right there depth wise with it. So like. I put notes right here on the bottom. You'll see for every team I had that I feel like my notes were with it that let me fit in characteristics-wise as you're listening here to on the show on YouTube, and I'll bring it up on it as we go. I'm just going to put it like this to the people. I look at it like this. I look at the Brewers. They were the champs last year in the division. They lost, obviously. They obviously lost Burnes. Woodruff isn't going to be there. They signed him, but he's not going to be there this year. They signed Hoskins to a deal. I know they don't ever do anything come playoff time in terms of offense. I know they do absolutely nothing. But I'm trying to see where we're at with this division. I got the Brewers there. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the Reds going forward. We'll get into your Cardinals as well. Gentlemen, can we start with the champs, though, first, before we kind of move on to some of the other guys here that I have storylines with? Josh Edwards. The Brewers, though, I was looking at their lineup, and, they get Ortiz in that deal. They get Hoskins batting fourth. I don't know. I love Williams. I love Peralta. Where do you see as a division guy as Logan Stone's Cardinals Cup there? What do you got with there? What do you got with the Brewers real quick here?
Here's my quick little synopsis. The Brewers have begun a new era and will be on the outside looking in at the end of the season. This is a retool and not a rebuild, so there is a chance with the veterans that they were brought in, and if they can find some magic, they could make a run, but I wouldn't count on it. Just too many big losses, too much in the pitching staff not going to be there. I think Rhys Hoskins is overrated. I don't know how well he's going to play out there.
Whoa. Where's BSing Sports Alert? BS.
I was going to say that he's been talking to Ryan too much.
Gary Sanchez. I mean, yeah. The Joey Ortiz is like the most exciting pickup for me that I'll be interested in watch him play this season and see how he grows. But
projected to bat ninth, by the way. Projected to bat ninth. We'll see what happens. How about Yelich? I feel like he's the key, right? Like he's the MVP. He's the big contract guy. He had a better year last year. Don't you feel like
first good year last year in the last 3 or 4 though? He's on the back nine. I mean,
does Willie Adames scare you guys when you see him up to bat? Who scares you on this lineup when you're up? I don't want that guy up.
Contreras.
Nobody anymore.
Contreras?
Yeah,
Contreras
William.
Probably their best bat.
Yeah, I was curious who you guys see as out. Okay, so if you have them out of it, Susie brought up the Reds. I am, you know me, I've always been a Reds guy. That's just kind of one of my teams I like a little bit. The Reds, give me that hat all day. Give me the uniforms with the sleeves. I'll take that one all day with it. I love the pitching. I love the young pitching. Everything about it. You got I love Green. I love the lefty there. I love all those guys. They get Montas, who's the veteran there. De La Cruz, who to me is just fun. I like watching him play. He doesn't always hit the best average. I understand that somebody's going to have to prove on. Something I put in our news and notes here is for them to win the division, he's going to have to take a step up and play discipline and all that stuff. How do you guys, I know you guys as Cardinals fans don't necessarily love the Reds, but I feel like they're kind of getting close. What do you make of it, Logan? Then we'll get to Josh on
it. They needed to make some additions. That's the thing.
They got Montas.
Yeah, but
they lost McClain.
He's injury prone, and so that means you get Montas for 2-3 months.
At least they better be a damn good one. They're very damn good.
I think.
Do you think Green or do you think Green or gosh, how do I pronounce the lefty's last name? Help me out.
Lodolo?
Yeah, I'm always terrible at these things with the left man. It could be like Smith, and I mess it up. So Ladola, I'm just saying, Ladola. I think one of those guys, as my guy Tyler says, one of those guys I think are going to be an ace. At some point, I think one of them will hit. They got
what was that
stuff?
What was that sign that Mike Rizzo put in the Nationals spring training camp? Was I don't care how fast you threw ball 4. Yeah. That's basically. Hunter Green just needs to. If it means tampering down the speed, show some freaking control. That's the problem with some of these starting pitchers. They'll throw 104 miles an hour, and it's like, dude, you think you get injured because you're throwing 90 pitches over 100. You don't need to be doing that, or 97 plus. And it's like, no, just show some control, and then you can tick it up a little bit. But all these guys, Hunter Green, he's so wishy-washy sometimes. Like, yeah, he throws really nice, but that's about it. And I don't trust that rotation. I don't trust the infield. They need a first baseman, right? Is it a first baseman?
What do you think about this red spring trading? Look at the catcher work with the hippo charging it. Look at that, tagging it. Boom, right there, Logan. You see that? A puppet
Oh,
hippo.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's not Stevenson, is it?
This was like the Red. I think Stevenson's good as well. I think the Reds are.
I like Stevenson.
I like him too. I think the Reds are in a better position to succeed than most people think. I think there is this risk with the young guys. Their bullpen is still in some question as well. Josh, what do you think about the Pirates? I feel like the Pirates, to me, we have our guy Mike McKinry. We love him out there. We're hoping to get him on. I mean, I always think I was telling Brandon, once every 6 weeks, can we get a Trevor Plouffe type thing here where we go in here where we can get him on every once in a while to talk some baseball? Go there, that'd be nice. Obviously, had him on a couple of times. I feel like the Pirates, like, you have Paul Skeens. He's the number 1 pick overall. The guy is absolutely just filthy, the nasty stuff out of LSU there. Number 1 pick. He's one of the guys you added Martin Perez, Chapman, Tellez, Grandal, all on 1-year deals. And then you get O'Neill Cruz back from injury. You got Hayes at third. They got Bendar, who's the closer there with Chapman. You got Reynolds. Can he get another all-star type season along with Keller, who signs the 5-year deal today? My storyline things with them is, can the Young Bucks finish 500? Can Paul Skeens light up the Steel Town? And can Reynolds repeat the same year? Those are my storylines with the Buccos. You guys feel anything differently about them?
Dark horse.
Just about as well as you could.
Dark horse, Logan? You think there's actually a chance they could get to 87 wins?
I think they can win the division.
Wow. See, I don't know if I believe in the pitching enough.
I mean,
the bullpen, I think, is actually
the bullpen is really good, but the Central is dog crap. And so, I mean, anything can happen. I mean, you can win with 83 wins probably.
I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I don't think 83 gets it done. I think you got to win at least 88 to win this division. I think
you don't think with the Central?
No, I think you're underplaying it at that point. I think because you never know what year. Every year is different in baseball, and as bad as we're ripping on it, I think there could be a team that steps up. I don't think it's the Pirates that steps up. But
if we didn't have the thing because we're only like the division only plays each other like 13 games, 13, 14 games this year. It's not as and so I think everyone else gets beat up. I mean, you play the Dodgers. The Dodgers are gonna ransack the whole thing. They're gonna get beat up by the Yankees.
Teams that spend 1-year deals. All 4 guys I mentioned: Perez, Chapman, Tellez, Grandal. It's just like 1-year deal. It's like, I like you. Let's just go out for a date. Let's just, and that's what it feels like. It's like, let's just kind of like, let's get a little cup of coffee. We'll talk. Like that. Like that's what this is about. We're not committing here. This is not what the Pirates never do that. They get McCutchen back. It's kind of, I feel like it's good. We talked about McKinry about that last year. Josh Edwards, how important that was to get him back as wellness. So that's kind of our thoughts of the Pirates. The Cubs, they added the new manager. They added the new manager there. They got the pitcher from Japan, the lefty there. They got Hector from the Astros. You guys stole him out over there. And the Cubs. They just signed David Peralta the other day. Fun fact about David Peralta: somehow led the league in triples about 8 years ago. Lit that up with it, David Peralta there. And then they lost Stroman. That's the big thing with the Cubs. My notes for them, Josh Edwards, was Bellinger. If they don't have him, do they have enough offense? And can Steele replicate the same all-star type, Cy Young type season he had? Your thoughts on the Cubs there?
So the Cubs for me are my dark horse.
Wow.
Yes.
Are they that dark though, of a horse?
I mean, kind of.
Swanson.
I have another dark. I mean, I have this division is almost wide open. But I mean, okay.
In the worst possible way.
Cubs.
The Cubs covered the loss of Stroman, picking up Imanaga.
Yep.
If signed Belly and everybody.
Thank you for saying his name and not me.
I was making sure he said it right.
And I'm going to screw something up eventually, but give it to me.
That's why I say the lefty from Japan. That's why.
There's. Let me put it this way: the Cubs will be no worse than they were last year. They very well could be better than they were last year, but I think they'll kind of be the same, especially if Belly doesn't re-sign. If Belly re-signs and has a season like he did last year, the Cubs will be dangerous, and they're going to surprise some teams, and they could end up getting 86, 87 wins and winning the division.
What do you think about Swanson having a better year as the second year? I read some articles about his wife went through some stuff last year, knee surgery, and like he obviously he would still have the most saved runs as a shortstop there. He's obviously an unreal defender. That's what he does best. But he hit pretty well last year as well towards the second half of the season. What do you think about him a little bit? And then I kind of want your opinions before I go to Logan on Steele, though. Like, I don't know if it's his third year in the league. He was an all-star. He got 16 wins. He was right there he was in the Cy Young voting. Do you guys, I guess, a Cardinals fan where you're like, oh, Steele's nasty. I know I don't want to see this guy for years. Is that how you feel about him?
That's how I felt about him.
Yeah, okay. Logan, you feel the same way about him?
I didn't watch Steele last year because I didn't watch any Cardinal games after the month of April. So
how about Cubs games? We're talking about Cubs, man.
I know. I'm just saying I didn't watch hardly any Cubs games either, and so I knew he was nasty. So
you're not worried?
I don't know. He's probably gonna go through a sophomore slump. I think teams are gonna have a better scouting report.
He's not a sophomore anymore. He's just
is he not?
No, he's his fourth year in the league. That's what I mean.
Well,
and he's a
yeah, that's right. Okay.
And that's why I was caught off guard by him because last year he came out of nowhere, kind of got the job. So and then we talk about Bellinger, like, I have massive questions on Bellinger. If I was the owner of him, I wouldn't know where on earth sign this guy to a 5-year for $150 million deal. Like, I understand he's a good defender, but I would have massive reserve. I would have huge concerns if I was putting out a paycheck for Bellinger. I could get burned, no doubt about it. He's had MVP seasons, but he's also had seasons where you're like 212? Like we're talking like pathetic.
He's 2 for 5 or something in his career years. Like just like
there's none of that.
Yeah.
So the Cubs there, I think Swanson. I feel like
Swanson will have a bounce back. Offensively, for sure.
And I didn't even think he played terrible last year. I really didn't. I thought he played okay last year. Chris, what's up there, my man Chris out there? Talked about your boy Senga out there with the Mets going down earlier in the show here.
It's hard to go to a fan base from the Braves to the Cubs because they're completely different. It's like going from the Cardinals to the Yankees in a way.
Do you feel more sorry for the Mets or the Cubs overall in the last 20 years?
20 years, I feel worse for the Mets.
Yeah.
The Cubs at least won their freaking World Series. The Mets haven't won since 88, 86.
Mike Piazza, what a player. What a player. You had Mike in there. You had Mike in there. They had a run with the Royals. They could have won with the Royals. They got my guy Cespedes out there. They had my guy. They had him out there.
Oh, I miss Cespedes.
Yeah,
but I think Swanson's gonna. I mean, he wasn't as great offensively as he typically is. Swanson last year, but this year he'll be better. Bellinger, they need him, but they could also get by with getting Chapman, I think.
Do you think he's the only team getting an offer from is the Cubs? 86 Mets. I was 2. Come on, we were right there. We could do it.
No, I think the Giants for Bellinger.
The Giants. I hope it's not. There's no way he's getting more than a 1-year deal from the Giants. It's not happening. I bet he has every 1-year deal out there that you can imagine, or 2-year deal with an option from 6 teams. I bet there's that would be an option. But
I don't think
the Cubs are the team he fits the best. But the owner's but again, why are you bidding against yourself? If you're a businessman, at the end of the day, right? Let me just pay you $50 million more, even though you haven't ever played for us. You know what I mean? It'd be different if you were homegrown and dug deep like that. That's not what this is. And I don't know. Bellinger to me, it's 1 year. It's not enough for me to say 175, 150. I feel like the Cubs would get screwed at the end of the day with something like that.
I understand, but I mean, I think at some point you got to say, listen. And I'm not saying this is that point yet. I'm just saying there's a certain point that you reach where you're like, I have all these talented guys because we haven't talked about Patrick Wisdom. We haven't talked about Morel
Yeah.
or some of their other infielders who are really good. Morel last year, I mean, he was light or what? It was Morel, right, Josh?
Yeah, he was better his
He was
first
good.
year last year. He had a sophomore slump last year. I expect he will return or at least look more like he did in his rookie season.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, there are some guys in there that they have. Seiya Suzuki, they paid him a lot. At a certain point, you're like, at this point, I'm wasting money if I don't go out and spend some money. And yeah, I may have to overpay a little bit. And I'm not saying like $50 million overpay. I'm talking about like $10 million overpay.
Right.
But like,
Bellinger wants term.
I understand. I
Nobody
understand
wants
that.
to give him term.
What do you guys make of the Cardinals here? Let's get to that to end this here. And then we'll move on to the diamond notes. It's like the Cardinals here with it. I have my notes that Walker win. They need to step up a little bit. You got the older pitching staff. Feels like, and you guys got last place. The fan base is a little bit unsure. I said a little bit going into the year. Like, do you guys, Josh, are you expecting a team to win the division? Simple.
Okay, so the Cardinals should go from worst to first this year. And that's really as long as the AARP pitching staff can eat innings, because our bullpen, if you really go look at the bullpen for the St. Louis Cardinals now, the bullpen looks very, very, very strong. If our starters can get 5 2/3 to 6 innings in consistently, and we are not down by more than a run or two, the Cardinals should win 85 plus games this year. The bullpen does look that good.
And the Pirates win at 88. Just kidding.
I mean, I think that's what to beat the Cardinals. I think you're going to have to win somewhere between 87 and 89 games.
Man, you guys are only 85 wins good. Oh my! You have Arenado and Goldschmidt on the corner. That has to feel embarrassing. That has to feel a little bit.
It's embarrassing because we have an ownership that doesn't want to spend a lot of money because they're not trying to break their bank. I mean, it'd be nice if they get to 200 million instead of sitting around 170. I mean, there's more money there they could go spend without even hitting the luxury tax, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
I want to address a couple things you said. Walker was playing in a new position that he'd only played in for 3 months before, and he was playing on the big league level. He struggled in the outfield. He was a defensive liability. If you look at his hitting statistics, he was still one of the better hitting players on the team. And it was his first season seeing major league pitching. I have no doubt in this kid. He's going to be even better this year. He probably hit 25 home runs. He's going to hit probably for a 280 average. I mean, he's going to be above average across the board in every offensive statistic. Do the
Wilpons on the Cardinals though. That's a Mets.
I don't know who Wilpons are. I'm sorry.
That's a Mets. That's the Mets. That's good. I like that. That's my sports. Yeah, go ahead.
But Wynn only got to come up for a short time last season. He was.
You believe in him though, right? Highly.
Oh yeah, they believe in him because his defense is.
So do you believe in him?
Oh, I believe him 100%.
Is he better than Walker?
I believe him. These two guys are our new core. These two guys are our next Yachty and our next Albert.
Whoa.
Okay, hold on. I'm saying that kind of teamwork and that fine, rephrase. Next Yachty.
I like it. Big time storylines.
These two guys could be the next two guys who are with the team for 20 years together. They grow together. They lead the team to multiple World Series appearances, maybe a couple championships together. Wow. Like these two guys could be what the team bases around for the next 15 to 20 years. That's what this team could be. If you include Gorman sticking around, if he can find a way to stay healthy, and the young pitchers we have that are supposed to come up and be very, very good. The center fielder we have, Victor Scott II, who should be with the team the second half of the season. If worst case scenario starting in center field for us next year, we should have our next Pujols, Waino, Yachty 10-year run easy, if not longer. We should get Cardinals fans should get another decade of that type of baseball in St. Louis with the core we're going to have as young players coming into the year.
Logan Stone, one of the most pessimistic Cardinals fans, kind of like me as an A's fan. Go, sir. Like to me, there's a lot. He threw a lot out there. He threw a lot out there in terms of some optimistic thoughts with the Cardinals there with it. I'm going to give you the last word on the Cardinals before we move to the Peter Gammons Diamond Notes segment here. What do you got with the Cardinals here, sir?
the thing is that they're just so. I mean, 24 is going to be a wash. It doesn't matter. They're
Do you
going
think
to be like,
last place is that's not gonna happen? Like, was that an
no.
embarrassment for fans? I were you guys like, are you kidding me? Like, or is that like whatever? It's last place.
I wasn't embarrassed. I was happy. I had been
Josh, were
predicting
you
that for
embarrassed?
years, and
Wow.
so I was like, thank God.
That's because
That,
I thought if they had a bad season, they were going to go out and spend $300 million on a salary.
And you guys know they're never gonna do that now.
Oh yeah, I knew that before he had his whole
Who's the
I
who's the
think-
most expensive guy they spent on recently?
Contreras.
That's Contreras. That's
no, their most expensive was Dexter Fowler.
How about Arenado, but that was a trade. Those were
Yeah. Or Goldschmidt was again. We fleeced the teams we got them. We fleeced the Diamondbacks and the Rockies on those. So
you guys are. That's what you.
Contreras was like our biggest free agent, I thought. But yeah, Fowler was huge too. Both.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
So the
Logan.
problem is that the owners and John Mozeliak, the baseball president, they're like, oh well, we're okay with our rotation because they eat innings, and then the bullpen will handle everything. And it's like, so you don't even care if the pitchers that we get are good. You just need them to eat innings. It doesn't matter if they give up 3 or 5 runs, just as
Sonny
long as they
Gray's
can
good.
eat runs, huh?
Sonny Gray's good.
Yeah, but he's on his way out. I mean, he's 34 years old.
He's still. I think Sonny Gray has at least 2 years left in him.
Okay, but that's not any good to us this year because they've already said that this year's a wash.
No.
If you surrounded
The
Sonny,
division's open. How can it be a wash?
I don't care about the division. I care about.
Just get into the dance like the D-backs did last year. That's all.
This is what I'm saying. If you surrounded Sonny Gray with Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery or another young Tyler Glasnow, then I would be saying, okay, I believe in this team more. But when Sonny Gray is your clear ace and he's the youngest one, and you surround him with Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson, who are definitely on their way out. They have been way past their prime for 3 freaking years. Then yeah, I would be like, well, fuck this shit. I mean, who cares anymore? I mean, I'm sorry, I haven't cussed in a year now. And
Yes.
9.9%.
We got
down one.
VBS. Like that's my new say when you texted me that. I was like, "You're doing a VBS scan. VBS this." That's what I'm going to say to people. That's my cussing from now on. No, I hear you on that with it. But my thing with also as you're talking about the Cardinals and their pitching staff is like you guys always bring up somebody. And I don't think you guys are aware of is there somebody that's coming up next who's right there in the rotation? I think the Cardinals. They finished. We talked about the Brewers. We talked about the Reds. Like I'm not going to make my prediction yet, but I just feel like they're there, Josh. I feel like they're. I mean, you have Arenado and Goldschmidt on the corner. You have, you have Contreras as your catcher. Like you have Gray, maybe not the best pitcher of all time, but like he's a solid pitcher. Been through the ropes. Been with the A's to win a division. Pitched the game 1 playoffs. Played with he's not a bad number 1 to win a division. And so I feel like you have him, you have Lance the Pants Lynn, maybe that eats up some innings. You get some stuff there. Like I just feel like you guys are the favorite at today going into the division.
Well, according to MLB or one of the other big name sports people, the Cardinals have like the second best offseason in the whole MLB behind the Dodgers. Like I don't know what that rating system's on or what they're smoking over there.
Well,
I mean, I don't put us in the top 2. I mean, I'd put top 7, maybe top 5. But
the good stuff.
They made a lot of moves. They didn't make a lot of great moves.
No.
The thing is, they signed guys that were older, that were inning eaters because they believe their offense will always keep them in games. So even if their starter gives up 4 in 5 innings, they believe that their offense can get 5 to 7 runs a game, and that's not always going to happen. They're playing poker. I mean, that's all they're doing.
No doubt. And
but they're building for the future years because they believe with Graceffo and McGreevy and Jerpy and I'm forgetting another one of the young arms we have.
Who did you say? Jerpy? What was his name?
Jerpy.
It looks like Herpy. like HJERPE, I believe, but it's pronounced Jerpy.
His name.
Oregon State.
Don't wear it out.
First round pick.
What a day in there. Bourbon and baseball, if you're listening, that's a bourbon. We got that on there. You got that. And that's something she rated our podcast. Rich always say at the beginning of her shows. No, I hear you, Josh, on that.
So I think something like that.
If you're asking me who I think would come up this year and be just a game changer for them, yeah, it's probably Scott. Maybe Sadducee, the second baseman.
Yeah, so he was really, really good last year. And that's why I think Gorman or Donovan and Edman or a combination of all three could get traded. If he has a really good first half of the season and we're not in the playoffs, I could see him getting called up after the All-Star break and getting ready for next year, along with Victor Scott.
That would be interesting to see if he got traded at some point there. That would be very interesting to see if anything happens with him.
We're going to trade Gorman and Donovan and Edman or any of those three in a combination.
Nope.
We're getting back an ace.
No, and before
back a top prospect.
And before we go too birds and bush here with it, I just think that you guys are like, I think you guys are like, it'll be interesting where you guys fit in the division. Like I said, I think the Pirates will make a little noise. I think we talked about the Cubs edition with Swanson with it. I think those are some of the big things that's going forward with it. Logan Stone, you gonna hang on with us or you gotta go?
I can hang for a bit.
We're at the hour mark. Me, I gotta get home for dinner. So let's move through it here with it. The Cy Youngs, let's do Cy Youngs next week. We'll focus on that next. We'll kind of talk about that next week. Let's go to the good, bad, and the ugly here. We'll keep the show moving. A little different here. So news and notes. Clint Eastwood, little shout out there. The good.
I'm the good. Darren's the bad, and Josh is the ugly.
Well, let's not pushing it right there. We got the good here. I think, my God, I love this show. I don't know why. I've loved it for a while. This is Foul Territory. Love that show as soon as it's come out with it. My good for the week is they're showing the Oakland A's fans some love. They're going out to Fan Fest with AJ Perinsky out there. Braun, who Susie at Bourbon and Baseball has interviewed, they had them out there with it. It was a great podcast. They're going to go out there this weekend on Saturday. I wish I could go. I can't. I have the Suns basketball game. Got to be there. So got that. So I wish I could be there with it. So we got that. That's putting on. That's my good for the week as well. Hendricks and Woodruff. Found that interesting. Still good, though. Both out either half the year, all the year, but still get 2-year, $10 million deals. Those are my good for the week. I just found it interesting. Logan, you listen to the Foul Territory show at all?
I listen to the highlights. I don't have time for podcasts anymore. So be thankful that I'm on here.
I can't listen to the whole thing either. I mean, 2 hours is a lot, obviously, but you can catch highlights, like you said, on Twitter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll have stuff where they'll have like an 18-minute guest on, and I'll want to hear that particular stuff. So I'll listen to that. I think they do a really good job. I feel like it's authentic baseball talk, which I feel like we're trying to do here on Seventh Inning Stretch. So I feel like that's always a good thing too. And I just appreciate them shouting that as somebody that's been an A's fan my whole life. It is kind of cool just to see like this kind of random podcast that's kind of got some MLB association with it coming out to support the A's and the last dive bar out there too. So want to shout that with it. I think it's cool that Hendricks and Woodruff both signed as well. Woodruff with the Brewers, not going to sign on that, but I thought that was an interesting part. They're bad for the week. Judge says the big toe will require maintenance the rest of his career. The big toe there out there, people will require maintenance as he hit the cement. And he goes, well, the good thing about playing center field is there shouldn't be a wall out there. Well, sir, you'll find out. Tell Ken Griffey Jr. that there's no wall out there in center field as well. Does good baseball talk. Yeah, they do. And I appreciate you as well. MLB trivia coming out. I know you're going to get it, but we'll see. We'll see if the other guys can get it here. We'll see if Josh Edwards can get it. So I know this guy's automatic with it. I feel like he's with it. So, but what do you guys think that with it? And then the MLB players, crotch shots. I don't know. The uniforms are also. That's my
Fanatics started an OnlyFans.
I mean, you sent me a photo with a man bent over. What do we got with it? What do we got?
He must be very proud. Anyways. Yeah, that the see-through pants are just an issue. I that's the biggest problem for me is like I can handle the non parallel numbers or when they're not lined up. But whenever I see a guy's crotch on TV, it's that's where I draw the line on Tuesdays.
Come
It was-
on, Larry
it was-
Bird. Nobody had an issue with Larry Bird out there, Josh. What do you got? Indiana, right? We got that. What do you think, Josh? My bad of the week here with Judge and those uniforms.
MLB. The fans and players should be able to sue the MLB for making this deal for changing the jerseys and the uniforms. That's what I have to say about that. The MLB should pay us to have to watch this product for as long as these jerseys are put on these players. Everybody should get the MLB network and the no blackouts. Everybody should watch every game for free. That's
every game. Hey, give me that all day. Like, don't give me the radio for $3.99. Give me the actual game. I'll take that as well. The big toe, Judge. I found that interesting, that quote this week. I just want to point that out.
Once you have feet problems, you always have feet problems. Kids, take care of your feet.
It's a toe issue, though. It's a big toe. Toe.
Part of your foot.
All right.
Well, who was the player who cut his finger off was it the 49ers who cut his finger off back in the 90s?
Ronnie Lott.
Yeah.
Well, the game, and what's the guy for the Marlins? Alcantara. He had 6 fingers. I was like, whoa. I was like, that was my favorite guy. The guy that had 6 fingers was my favorite.
Aaron Judge needs to just cut his toe off.
Man up.
Yeah, gosh. He doesn't care about baseball. He hates baseball.
What does Shaq say? Just put a little icy hot on it. You'll be fine. A little icy hot. A little icy hot. I'm sure we'll just a little. What's my wife put that little stuff on it stings for a little bit when you have a little. Get a cut. You got to put it on the kids right there. All right. Ugly of the week. Ugly. Mr. Rendon, the comments there. The way I look at these, rub some dirt on it, damn it. Yeah, exactly. I have first graders coming to PE saying, my ankle. I said, I just saw you 5 freaking minutes ago jump off the monkey bars. You don't give me no ankle grab. You don't give me that over with it. So Anthony Rendon, okay, of course. Logan Stone. Of course, Josh Edwards. My kids do mean everything to me. My wife does mean of course they do. But if I played with a group of guys 162 games, I'm not making this comment publicly. We know that. For me, I know it's not a big deal, but it's also one of these things where I'm like, it's just not understanding your situation where you have been not available, and then making the comments where like, of course your family means more. Of course, like, I'm not saying they're the dumbest comments of all time. I'm just saying, giving your context of what you've given, and then you had the A's situation after their fan base last year, where I'm a little confused, Logan Stone, what he's thinking in this.
Who cares? He got paid, right? I mean, he's sitting in luxury.
He's why these guys like Chapman aren't getting paid. He's why that part of it, I think.
I mean, he doesn't care. And it's fine. I mean, the Angels are honestly the dumbest team for signing him. So, I mean, they knew this going into it. We talked about this years ago, Josh. We talked about how Anthony Rendon, there were rumors that he doesn't like baseball. He does not like baseball. And teams were so surprised that he signed for a 7-year contract.
Yeah.
Because they thought he was going to just ask for 4 years and then he was going to retire. So, I mean, he's just getting his money and he doesn't care. He's going to ride it out.
Now, can I bring up this quote real quick? Papelbon,
Yeah.
Not somebody we go to the Bible for him. We have good quotes from him. And one thing I got from him this week with talking about Rendon is he says, it drives me absolutely nuts. If this is what you believe, just keep your mouth shut. To me, this is a cancer in the clubhouse.
Oh yeah.
And they were former teammates, and so obviously he doesn't have much respect for him going forward with those comments at all. And then I have the Scott Boras 5, Snell maybe going to the Yankees. Josh Edwards, are we excited about that? Possibly Matt Chapman. I mean, I don't get what to make of these guys. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Too much term and too many dollars. We've already talked about it. It's really blatantly.
But why is nobody signing it? Like, these guys should be signed. Snell, Chapman, like, these guys should be signed.
Corey them brainwashed that he will get them what he's told them he will get them, and the market says we don't think you guys are worth that term and those dollars.
I think Montgomery is.
And they are taking back their teams.
I think Montgomery is being held hostage until Snell gets signed, and Chapman is getting held hostage until Bellinger is signed. Because once Bellinger is going to be
better than Bellinger.
Not, I mean, he may be, but I think Bellinger has a higher upside, and I think teams like his long ball better.
Yeah, I get you. All right, so those are my good, bad, ugly of the week with this. We kind of get over the hour mark here on 7th Inning Stretch. Appreciate everybody tuning into the show. That's my sports CP, New York, Bourbon, and Baseball. My guy Tyler McGurk tuning in as well here on Twitter. See Wood out there retweeting my stuff, thinking the baseball. Josh Lewis out there retweeting our stuff as well. Appreciate you guys here. Like I said, just trying to do big things here. New baseball year, trying to give you guys the best content as possible here. Not trying to compete with anybody. We're not ridiculous, but we're just trying to, just real fans trying to talk about real baseball. That's the idea with it. All right, let's get to it. Josh Edwards, favorite part of the show, MLB trivia. Who am I? Josh Edwards, let's get to it. Hint number one, I played 13 seasons from 1985 to 1998, was a 3-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger winner, all in the American League. Never played in the National League. I don't think you guys will know it based on that. So let's go to hint number 2 with it. I played my first 4 seasons with the Toronto Blue Jays. I then led the American League in home runs and RBIs, both categories, in 1990 and 1991. I also finished second place both those years in 1990 and 1991. So not a bum by any means. Logan Stone, any guesses out there for this one?
I wanted to say Carter, but that's not right.
Mm-hmm.
Not Joe Carter.
Not Jolton Joe Carter.
Yeah. No. So I don't have it right now.
Josh, do you have a guess out there?
I'm running through guys that I know from Toronto in the 90s. I'm like, who do I even know from there? So, no.
I'll give you a clue. If you're thinking Toronto guys, it's not going to be the best. So this one I think we'll give it away. So let's go hint number 3 here. I won my only World Series with the New York Yankees in 1996. Also, my son was a first baseman and ended up playing for the same team I made my legacy with. I feel like that one should give it away to my guys here in the NL Central.
Uh-oh, someone already commented. I'm an idiot. I can't believe it. I'm sorry. I failed you guys. I'm
That's my sports. Like I said, Logan.
I can't believe
Josh
it.
Edwards. I was like, my wife's like, that was kind of a dick comment. I was like, I'm joking. I had a beer in me. I was like, you can't, like, you gave it. I called you a facade. She said. I said, I can't say that. Yeah, I didn't mean to call you a facade. That's what I meant. Yeah, I said I had a teddy in me. You can't blame me whatever. I'm at the bar.
I hate my life.
I'm at the bar with these guys talking baseball.
See, this is the issue.
There is the answer here. You spent 1 year. The thing about the Toronto thing, Logan.
Yeah.
He played 4 years with Toronto. Played 1 year in Japan. Had a massive year. Tigers signed him. In 1990 and then 1991, he had back-to-back number 2 MVP finishes. 1990 to Rickey Henderson. 1991 to Cal Ripken Jr. He also made the All-Star team in 2 years later with the Tigers as well. Finished 9th in MVP voting. I feel like he's always kind of a guy that, like, for me, is just like it was kind of a mythical figure in some ways because he just hit absolute bombs. So, like, as you know, here on the trivia side of things, I'm always going to get stuff up on here as we do our answers. But Cecil Fielder, to me, I'm going to say that's my sports. I know it's impressive. You get it done every week. You get the job done. Here it is, my spot with it. with him on the screen, sharing Cecil Fielder. This is why I wanted to put him on the screen. Just some of this good stuff that we can't miss. On the roof, Tiger Stadium, good stuff out there. We gotta get any reason to get Cecil on the screen.
See, I should have known the 96 thing, and I should have known. But see, the Blue Jays, you do the Blue Jays thing where it pulls me off sides for a bit, and I just
with you a little bit, Logan. I think my favorite thing about this swing, Logan, is he puts both feet into it. Puts them both into this swing. There's no both those dang. 510 feet against your Texas Rangers. Right in there to the That's one of my favorite ones with it. I just love that one. And then if I can get it up here and too with him as well on the screen I remember this being like a big deal because as a kid, like I remember my dad saying, like, "Did you see that thing with Cecil Fielder like the other day?" Like, and I was like, "No, I didn't see it at all." And he literally hits it over the freaking stadium at Tiger. Like that one we saw where he hits it on the roof at Tiger Stadium. This one he actually hits over the stadium. So check this one out. He hits over it here against Dave Stewart, my Oakland A's. Against the on the absolute seed. I love it. It's over the roof.
Oh my gosh.
So just kind of one of my favorite like kind of guys out there, and like his stats are so interesting to me. Like the fact that he was able to kind of, I don't know, just he was polarizing back in my day. Cecil Fielder. So I thought that was a good trivia question to bring him up this week with it. Any last thoughts on Cecil Fielder there, guys?
When he was with Detroit, I think Prince was like 8 years old, and he used to do batting practice, and he had home runs there at the old Tiger Stadium. I think he was 8, maybe 13.
No, I think you're right. I think it was 8 there with it. And and the one thing about Cecil Fielder, I just like, for me, that he was like, as a kid, he was kind of a mythical. He was, because he hit balls. So the fact that he led the league in RBIs for 3 straight years, led the league in home runs for 2 straight. That's the type of guy where you're like, oh, this guy just hits absolute tanks. And you're hitting 510-foot home runs over a stadium. Yeah, you're gonna get some love there with it. So had to shout at him this week with it. That's my trivia for the week. Him and Prince, I think, ended up with the same amount of career home runs. When it's crazy. When I looked it up, I was kind of shocked that he was only a 3-time All-Star. That kind of surprised. I thought he'd be a little bit more. I don't know. I thought that was just something that. And then when I looked it up, Logan, that he came from Japan, that also shocked me as well. Like I wasn't expecting that, and I didn't even. And to be honest, I didn't even know he played for the Blue Jays. Did you guys know that?
No,
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I only thought of him with the Yankees and Tigers.
Yankees. I only remember him as in Detroit.
That's all I remember him with was the same thing. Was that with it?
I thought he had a longer career for some reason.
Well, he finished with the Angels too. Like I think those first 4 years in Toronto were so low key, nobody ever thought of it as a big deal at all. So that's our MLB trivia. That's why sports. You do it again. You got me, Cecil Fielder. You got it there with it. All right, MLB flashback. Then we'll call it a podcast here, gentlemen. I don't know. This one always kind of stuck out to me a little bit. I know it's a Cardinals thing with the Reds. I told Josh before, but we'll get it on the stage here. Ken Griffey Jr. up to bat against the Reds ballpark was being built at the time. We'll get it going here.
Full count, doing it again to the Red center fielder. High in the air, left center field. Edmonds back. Warning track. It is off the wall. Griffey round second. He's going to third. Robinson picks it up. They're going to send him. Here comes the throw. How about this? It's over. Inside the park, Homer. The Reds have won it. How about that? What an unbelievable night. Well, in a season that has had very little genuine emotion like this one's special, Chris. Junior.
Unbelievable. You had to figure it was going to end on a very strange note. But for a guy that missed half the season with a serious hamstring pull, to win the game on an inside-the-park home run, you've got to be kidding me.
Number 454 for his career. 3-2 pitch. He drills it off the wall. Edmonds and Robinson each collide going for it. By the time Robinson gets it, Griffey's already rounding second, going to third. Take another look.
I don't know why this video has always kind of stood out to me a little bit, but like for me, the reason it's always stood out is like it's just a unique play, a home run to end the game. Ken Griffey Jr. His dad there with it. I've had it in there for a couple years here in the bank. Felt like it was a good time to use it. No shot at your Cardinals, just kind of a fun way to end the game. To me, it was interesting seeing as he's hitting the ball, seeing the Reds construction going on for the new stadium as well. And then you kind of forget, like, Griffey went for the Mariners and the Reds. It's kind of a weird – it's just a weird – you don't see superstars make that move all the time. I don't know. I thought that was a good MLB flashback this week. Josh Edwards, your thoughts on it?
Well, you haven't given me a good Cardinals one yet.
I got a good one. I got a few decent ones in the bank. I'm going to say what.
Well, you haven't gotten me one yet.
All right.
And today I was just talking about how Jim Edmonds was a much better ball player than he is analyst. And then you give me one of his worst ever played balls for our video tonight. So that's what I think about it, Darren.
Logan Stone, MLB flashback thoughts?
I was surprised Adam Dunn was playing that early in his career. I didn't know he played with Griffey.
They did in that old stadium. He used to hit bombs over. They used to have this weird, like, I remember it being like in the video games he played. They had the center field. And they had this big, like, black, just like wall in center field because they didn't want to be a distraction when the pitcher would throw or something like that. And I just remember that and Dunn would hit the ball over and it'd just be a mammoth shot. Like, it'd just be like, this guy's a beast. Like, yeah, he played a long time as a DH. That's our MLB flashback video of the week. Griffey, 2 weeks in a row, you're part of it. Last week it was MLB trivia, robbing Luis Gonzalez. This week you make it as the MLB flashback with the Reds getting an inside the park home run. I have about 55 of these in the bank for the season, so we'll see if I can make them through the year. Guys, a little longer podcast as always, but it's been fun. We had good topics with it. It was good. I appreciate the interaction as always from our guys here. That's my sports. Appreciate my guy Chris at CP, Mets, Knicks, Senga. Only 3 games. That's what we're hoping for. Senga. Bourbon and baseball. Appreciate you guys as well. Susie, you guys keep up the good work as well. My guy Tyler McGurk and everybody else that retweeted it. Josh Lewis, Seawood, and all those guys as well. Guys, another week in the book here. Baseball-wise, Logan Stone, it was good to have you back on. I know you went dark there for a second, but I appreciate you coming on. And I know you probably stayed a little longer than you thought, but
making sure Blake Snell hasn't signed with the Yankees yet.
All right, thank God. We haven't seen
No, darn.
Right. Well, I know we text each other during the week. I know you're busy as well, but we appreciate you, Josh, as I when you can make it. I appreciate your baseball takes. You always bring a good little fun side to it as we enjoy as well. Josh Edwards, another good week of baseball, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Next week, maybe a little AL Central. I kind of have some AL East thoughts too that are on my mind. I've been writing down that I kind of want to get into a little bit more next week as well. And then I have some also a little extra AL West, not my A's people. Sorry, we'll kind of focus on Ohtani's maybe other team. I have some thoughts on them as well. Kind of going into next week baseball. Then Logan Stone, Josh Edwards. Logan Stone, I believe you texted to me last or tweeted or whatever we call it. Overhyping spring training baseball. Well, we'll see when we meet next Thursday. We will see all the overhyping that has happened from that point on. Oh my gosh, they're 0-5. They're done. The season is over. Like the Cardinals.
The Dodgers are overrated if they lose even one game.
Sonny Gray gives up 10 runs in his first outing. The season is over. It's all for a loss. It's all done at that point. So, gentlemen, when we speak next Thursday, Logan, maybe it'll be hopefully we do. But if not, Josh Edwards, when we speak, baseball will be official. Spring training will be on. All the teams will have played. We'll have a lot to get into. So, for Logan Stone, for Josh Edwards, I'm Darren Breyer. We'll see you next week. 7th Inning Stretch Friday, Sports Base. Peace.